Due to certain inevitable circumstances at home, I had to take this tough decision of sending my son, 8-year old at that time, to a residential school, a boarding school. So it was not an easy decision on me either. However, the next logical step for me was to visit schools, and see what kind of facilities are given and how they run the school. Fortunately, one of my cousin lives in a place, in a place where there are lots and lots of schools, boarding schools and residential schools. She is a doctor, and her entire family is a family of doctors, and they have their own hospital, clinic, and diagnostic center. They're also on the panel of a few schools over there. So, that I felt was the most realistic approach, to reach out to my cousin and her family and get a realistic idea as to if it is a good decision to send an 8-year-old boy to a residential school. Luckily, thankfully, they all supported me. They all agreed that given the circumstances, sending an 8-year-old boy to a residential school will give him some stability which he would not get otherwise at home. Now, the challenge was to convince him, because he was only 8-year old, and also my parents, who were at that time not keeping too well. So I had to, think about how to overcome this challenge. I myself had to gather courage, and therefore, what did I do to overcome this challenge? First thing I did was I had collected the brochures of these schools. So I showed these brochures to my parents and to my son. I also told them that my cousin and her entire family have been very supportive. They are on the panel of these schools as doctors, and therefore my son's health was something that would not be of a concern. The stress or anxiety related to his health went down drastically, and I got that courage. So that played a huge role for me to validate that as a family, our collective decision was right. Third thing that I did was I took my son along with me to the schools where I had been to, and I showed him the various areas of the school, where he would be living, the room, the dormitory where he would be living, the classrooms, the kitchen, the playground, and everything, for him to visualize what his school life would look like. Fourth thing that I did was I took him to my cousin's place and I helped him create a bond with her and her entire family. So they all are in a joint family system. So that was an additional advantage for him as well as for me. And I kept assuring him that no matter what happens, if he feels even a little bit uncomfortable, we are always there with him, and we can always reconsider the option of sending him to the school. So that I think was very useful. These steps that I took were played a huge role in making sure that we took the decision and then made it right. So I think it was really very courageous on his part, despite being 8-year old and someone who had never lived outside his house without parents. And he readily agreed, and not only agreed, I think the very first day, within 1 hour of reaching the school, he had already made friends. So his innate ability to make friendships very naturally has been one of the biggest strengths that I've seen with him, and definitely has given me a lot of confidence that yes, we can do this together. Thank you.